All right, yo, what is up? What is up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Real Chris Radney. So, like, subscribe, share before we get going. Make sure you follow me, Real Chris Radney on my Instagram. All right, so you saw the last video. I talked about fraternities and sororities and the whole part of like devil worshiping and people announce their letters around the same time of the year, like after like a Atlantic Greek picnic. Again, like a coincidence, the article always pops up. Um, but I'm going to talk to y'all about my personal experience um, being Greek, and especially being Greek with mom who's heavily involved in church, and then being Greek with a dad who's also heavily involved in church. So my dad's a cop and is also like a big part of the church, ordained minister as well, or pastor, one of the two. But that's reverend. He can speak whoever he's ordained. My mom, black Christian, raised. She's a black Christian woman. Y'all know how that should go. So my journey going into Greekdom and how I got here in the last 14 years, and also I can talk about how this actually shaped my spirituality. And one of the reasons that I've kind of walked away from the whole religious idea, right? And no, this is not what my channel is about like religion, shit like that. But it just happened to be one of the topics that I wanted to kind of come back with onto my channel, because this is something I've been working through my spirituality stuff over the last few months, right? Also, probably the reason I haven't posted for real. So we kind of go right, kind of go into it from there. So I pledged my fraternity in 2008. Member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the Tails, Anchor, 11, the big boy, rude dude out here in the streets. All right, so I crossed the Eastern Michigan University, which is like 45 minutes north, or I'm pretty sure it's north of Detroit. All right, so that was where I decided to join this illustrious organization and become a member. So I have no Greeks in my family at the time. The only Greek in my family, literally to this day, is my little cousin Chuck, who's also an Iota from Michigan, right? He's out of Western. Like, we're literally the only Greeks in our family, right? So the conversation around the Greekdom and around like Black Greek organizations, we've never had those conversations, because no one in my family has, one, really went to college, and then two, no one else has actually been a part of a Greek life and understand anything what the fuck we doing or why we do this. Right? So the only people who actually understood was my boys who was in gangs, and my cousins who was in gangs. So I told them what I was gonna do and like about the whole fraternity thing. Like, they was down for the shit, because when it was like, oh shit, it's like being in a gang in college. I'm like, yeah, it's like, oh, I can't really explain that shit. So it worked out. They understood, right? My mom, she was in support. My dad was in support to an extent, because it was kind of one of those things where like they didn't really have an option but to support me, because I was gonna do what I want to do regardless. Even though, which is weird, because they at the time, even at the particular time, they chime in on all the wrong shit. Like, the stuff I needed them to chime in on, they would just kind of like leave up to me, like a 17-year-old. And then the shit that I didn't give a fuck about them chiming in on, they had everything in the world to say about it. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers are weird. But that's neither here nor there. Like, I think that's what parents do. Like, so at the time, 2008 came, and I was like, cool, I'm going to join this fraternity. And at the time, I already have two tattoos, right? So I had to preface that part, because it wasn't my tattoos come into question later on, right? So I had two tattoos at this point. Um, so my fraternity, whatever. I crossed. I initiated as a full member February 23rd, 2008, right? I went, at this point in time, I am probably never in church. I'm never in church, honestly, because I don't like going to church. Church is boring to me. I really don't want to listen to people who I know are doing exactly the same shit they tell us not to do. And I also think it's a money scheme, right? Personal thing. This is no offense to anybody. If you take offense, fuck you. I don't care, right? But my personal experience with church, money scheme, very not loving, a facade, and I just think I'm not a fan of most like people who identify as Christians, because some of the shit that they do, right? And not to say I don't have people in my family who or my life who identify as Christians. I love them to death because I do, and I respect them in their beliefs, in their religions. But there are certain people who I just know I'm like, I really don't fuck with you because of how you use Christianity, right? So at the time, I got tattoos right here on my forearms, on my biceps. I'm a trainer. I know the fuck a bicep form is. So my biceps are tattooed. I have two of them. One has my fraternity, the other one has the year fraternity's founded. I got them at the same time. So I got these probably in like maybe April, May. I initiated in February. So I got the tattoos, and it's like Facebook's fresh. I found out what Facebook was in like 2005 because one of my homegirls, her brother had Facebook. He's in college. So somehow that summer, after my tattoos, I was back in Detroit, back home, and I showed my tattoos off because I had a short sleeve on. I played football in college, so like I was a big dude, and I would always wear jerseys with no shirt underneath. That was just my thing. So my favorite jersey at the time happened to be a Isaiah Thomas Indiana jersey. Was red with the number 11 on it, which is also weird because it was a red Indy jersey, a red and white Indy jersey, and I fucking loved it. It's like my favorite jersey. But like I had it on one day, and I remember somebody had said something, "Oh, my tattoos." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm my fraternity, blah blah blah," and it happened to be somebody who went to the church my mom went to, right? And so instantly, like, but now before this, my mom has never had any issues with my fraternity. Never issued me stepping, never issued me strolling, me doing calls, my tattoos, nothing. I went to church because she has to come to church. Oh, you have to see pastor. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to go to this fucking church, like, because it's always some bullshit when I pull up. So I go to the whole church service. And I knew it was a setup the minute I got into the church, which I thought was weird. I'm like, something don't feel right. Something in my spirit didn't feel right. I'm like, this is a setup. I know some bullshit about to pop off. Church finished, we eat, we clean up, with my boys, my little brothers, whatever. And I get called into the office. I'm like, here we go. What is this about? So it was like, mom and the pastor. It's like, oh, I want to talk to you about your fraternity. I'm like, oh yeah, what about it? I'm excited. Like, hell yeah, I love my fraternity. Me not thinking this was the fuck the conversation. The whole thing about me coming to church at that particular day was about my fraternity. And it's like, so I see your fraternity, and I just want to know you're a sinner for this. Like you're a devil worshiper. Getting them tattooed on you and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know where any of this shit came from. It's just all I feel. My mom was like, yeah, you're a devil worshiper, and you need to like stop being a part of your fraternity because it's going to ruin you. It's going to all this other stuff. And I'm like, I do a lot of wild ass shit that's nothing to do with like that, and there's some shit that can fuck my life up, and this definitely ain't one of them. So the whole thing, mind you, my mom was there the day I got tattooed. They didn't say shit about it. They didn't bring it up, and it was literally like, oh, you need to stop. I've been a part of this fraternity. You need to go and denounce your letters and come and get baptized again and repent because you're gonna go to hell or the other stuff. And it's like you need to come here. I'm like, one, and this is me in my prime of like not giving a fuck. I was like, I don't want to come to church anyway. I ain't doing that shit. I didn't say shit in church, but I'm like, I won't come to church anyway. That's my thing. My mom goes, well, you need to make sure you get those tattoos covered up. I don't know why you got those. I'm like, nigga, you just sat here and when I got you was when I got tattooed. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So the whole thing comes up, and then it goes, yeah, you need to like remove yourself from the church or remove yourself from your fraternity because you stand part of the fraternity and those tattoos can come to church. You can't come back to church. I was like, deuces. I haven't been to church. I haven't been to that church since. I thought it was very hypocritical because neither one of them had been to college. The pastor, I knew about their past, and I knew that like they did a lot of fucked up shit too. But it was more or less I felt my feelings were hurt. Feelings were hurt because like my mom betrayed me and she played the fuck out of me, and that was how I felt. I'm like, yo, you never been to college, you don't know shit about fraternities, you're never been a real Christian. None of this shit is legit. Like y'all make up all this shit. Didn't even ask me how I felt. They asked me about fraternity, about what I do for my fraternity, or any of these other things. They just knew that I was in a fraternity. I had my tattoos were a representation of that, and it became an issue. So that was actually one of the reasons, like early on, I started questioning like the whole Christianity thing, because it came like very much if we don't like what you do, we'll just attack it and make you feel bad and call you a sinner and say you're going to hell. And it was a whole phase where like I talked to my mom, my dad, kind of like started using that shit against me. Like, time I make a decision, ever since you joined the fraternity, you start doing dumb stuff and like making bad decisions. I'm like, bro, like y'all really using this shit against me. Which also kind of made an issue between me and him through my college years, because I'm like, I can't make a decision on my own, because any decision that I make is automatically, if he don't like it, is automatically my fraternity's fault. And he also used religion against me in that situation. I said, but he used religion in a lot of fucked up situations. I'll probably share about more. But it was just like, bro, I'm not fucking with y'all in this situation. So that point right there, I kind of like already started like moving myself out of the situation of being religious, and the whole idea of like Christianity and Jesus and all this other stuff, because that's just what it is. So like, for y'all people who are not educated on people in Black Greek organizations, or Masonry, or other beliefs outside of Christianity, um, my recommendation will be shut the fuck up. Point blank. Period. Like, either you do the work to figure out if there's something that's really like that far fetched. Even that means you pick up a fucking organization and join it. If that's what you want to do. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to make people feel bad, especially not teenagers, for decisions that they make based on what they believe in and what they want to do. So back to you motherfuckers being weird. Just want to share that. So yep, that's the story of me getting kicked out of church. But we back on the channel. Like, subscribe, share. If you have situations similar about religion, or fraternities and sororities, share, comment below. I'd love to start a dialogue around that shit, because that shit, honestly, I think is fucking weird. But yeah, that's my time. I'm out. Follow me.